The Tekken franchise has taken players on an epic journey, evolving from a humble 3D fighter inspired by Virtua Fighter into a global phenomenon. We witnessed the series find its footing with the groundbreaking Tekken 2 before reaching its creative apex with the masterful Tekken 3, a game that crystallized the developer's grand vision. As we enter the new millennium, Tekken 4 boldly explored darker narrative territory, dividing the fanbase with its daring creative choices. However, Tekken 5 adeptly course-corrected, lightening the tone and welcoming players back to the fold with what many consider the definitive PlayStation 2 entry. Now, as the sixth generation of gaming drew to a close, and consoles like the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 ushered a new technological era, all eyes turned to Namco. Could the company sustain Tekken's momentum and translate the series' kinetic thrills to these powerful new platforms? Welcome back to the Retro Fans' Retrospective. Today we're uncovering Namco's next entry in Tekken with Tekken 6. If you're just discovering this channel, you're in for a treat. We've got a growing catalog of captivating retrospectives that peel back the layers of gaming's most fascinating and influential titles. From unsung gems to celebrated classics, our deep dives offer fresh perspectives that'll ignite your passion for the art form. If you enjoy an engaging retrospective that blends insightful analysis with the reverence for its subject matter, mash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You won't want to miss our upcoming explorations into the brilliant minds and landmark experience that have shaped the incredible medium. Let's dive into this. As the sixth generation of gaming drew to a close, Sony unveiled the PlayStation 3 at E3 2005, ushering in a new technological era. Recognizing that fans were migrating to powerful new hardware, Tekken series director Kishiro Harada made a pivotal decision to bring the iconic fighting franchise to Sony's latest console. While Tekken 4 and 5 had run on Namco's proprietary System 246 and 256 arcade boards, Tekken 6 would harness the power of the cutting-edge Namco System 357, packing a beastly 32 GHz power PC processor, 6 energetic processing elements, and an NVIDIA GeForce 780 GPU with a 256 MB of GDDR3 RAM. This potent architecture will allow Tekken's kinetic action to truly shine in dazzling high definition. At E3 2006, Namco offered the world its first tantalizing glimpse of the next evolutionary step for Tekken. An arcade release followed in 2007, initially launching in the Western rapturous reception from longtime fans craving the series' unique brand of intense 3D combat. However, the Eastern debut was curiously limited, as Harada revealed the team's ambition to further refine and enhance the experience to entice new players into the fray. Tekken 6 graphics engine prioritized fluid character animation above all else, with the developers remarking the countless body mechanics to ensure every bone-crunching impact looked and felt utterly realistic. Combat became a graceful, motion-blur ballet of visceral violence, the first fighting game to truly sell the physicality of each exchange through cutting-edge full-body blur effects. However, achieving a balanced roster of finely tuned fighters proved an immense challenge. Data from the arcade release was meticulously analyzed, with each character's strengths and weaknesses adjusted to keep the diverse combatant lineup operating in perfect harmony. No easy feat when innovating bold new gameplay systems like the explosive rage mode and strategic item usage designed to increase Tekken 6 depth and eye-popping spectacle. But the dev's most ambitious addition? An unprecedented mechanic allowing fighters to hurl opponents through multi-level, destructible backgrounds to continue combos on ascending territories, a staggering technical achievement, adding an incredible vertical dimension to Tekken's trademark bone-crunching action. With Sony's PlayStation 3 and Microsoft's Xbox 360 hitting the market and ushering a new transformative age of gaming, Tekken 6 had to prove it belonged. Could Namco's legendary series maintain its fierce momentum by fully capitalizing on these powerful new platforms? All eyes turn to the latest evolution of this iconic 3D fighter.
My name is Katsuhiro Harada, and I'm the game director and Tekken team leader. I've been a director on the Tekken team for over 15 years now. I guess you could say I'm Mr. Tekken.
Fight! Tekken 6 はもうこれまでの鉄拳の
Tekken 6 is the ultimate Tekken, and we've reached the highest level in terms of both quality and the amount of content of any game in the series. When we started out, neither Tekken nor any other games in the genre had a graphics engine that was custom built to display fighting games. So one thing we set out to do from the start of Tekken was to completely overhaul the graphic system to beautifully portray the characters' emotions during fights. That was the main goal, but not the only one. With the sheer quantity of characters and the new additions to the game system in Tekken 6, from a content and a quality perspective, everything is the best it's ever been in Tekken.
まあ数ある競合製品の中でも、鉄拳
One thing that's different about Tekken is that we've always had continual updates in the arcade, so we've never really been away from the scene for too long, compared to other fighting franchises. Another thing is the level of sales the series has generated, which more importantly reflects the fan base that we have behind Tekken. We get a lot of feedback from the fans on what they want with the series, so we're able to implement that into the game to make a better Tekken. I think those 2 points are key to the strength of the series.
Fight! で、今回の鉄拳6の、売りはですね
If I had to pick one feature that really stands out for Tekken 6, I would say it's a full-time variable animation blur, which adds blur to the character models while still maintaining a frame rate of 60 frames per second.
ゲーム全般に言えることだし、鉄拳は特に
One of the basic features that we've tweaked and which is key to the overall feeling is the controls. It's something that's really important to Tekken. Another huge feature is the new scenario campaign mode that we've included in Tekken 6.
そうですね、対戦格闘に期待されている基本的な、
I think everyone expects an online versus mode in a fighting game, and of course, we have that. But one thing that's unusual for Tekken, and not only for Tekken but also for other fighting games, is that we have online cooperative play as well. Players can team up with a friend online to play through the new scenario campaign mode and fight hordes of attacking enemies together whilst progressing through the story.
そうですね、やはり普段こう
It was quite difficult to implement the new scenario campaign mode, as it's radically different from the basic Tekken gameplay, where you're in a set stage and environment. There's also a different control scheme, and the basic elements of the game are completely different from the versus fighting.
鉄拳は確かにその操作
Tekken is actually well known for having the quickest response time in a fighting game, so providing the same experience online is a difficult challenge for us. So we decided to really focus on providing the best experience possible for opponents with good connections, and to make sure they have the best possible Tekken experience.
まずは、鉄拳
If there was one thing that we were to achieve with this product, I think it would be to have feedback from as many fans as possible around the world. So really, I just want to get the game in the hands of as many people as possible and see how they enjoy it.
わかんないね。でもさっきも言ってるもんな、それね。じゃあもうちょっと
If I had to sum it up, Tekken is just a really thrilling, destructive, aggressive game that feels really good to play. And this time round, Tekken 6 reaches the highest level we've ever attained for the series in terms of the amount of content and the quality.
I love Europe, I love Tekken.
While boasting a robust roster of iconic fighters, Tekken 6 aimed to evolve the franchise's time-tested gameplay formula with several bold new additions. The very arenas themselves proved more interactive than ever before, with sprawling multi-tiered backgrounds, allowing combatants to smash through walls and shatter floors, unveiling extended territories ripe for continuing the bone-crunching onslaught. But the innovations don't stop at the environments. Tekken 6 introduced the exhilarating rage system, granting fighters a reddish power aura once their vitality dropped below a certain threshold. This berserker state, eventually landed below, would deal increased damage, ensuing even the most punishing combos could be reversed through sheer ferocity. This potent aura could even be visually customized, manifesting as a supernatural fire, cracking electricity or freezing ice to reflect each warrior's unique fighting style. Keeping combos flowing proved crucial, as Tekken 6 ushered the innovative bound system. Now, specific launchers could slam airborne opponents face first into the arena floor, leaving them stunned and vulnerable to extend juggle strings with new follow-up attacks. Defensive masters also gained a new potential for clutch comebacks, with perfectly timed low parries now triggering the same bound state, a mechanic that added a thrilling layer of risk-reward to each exchange. Beyond the bone-crunching action, Tekken's acclaimed character customization received an expansive overhaul, allowing players to accessorize their favorite fighters with a vastly expanded arsenal of unique gameplay impacting items. From brutal spiked knuckles to flashy stylish shades, these equipable accessories didn't just adjust appearances, they fundamentally altered movesets and a tribute for those willing to experiment. But for those seeking a more immersive solo challenge beyond the classic arcade mode, the console version introduced an ambitious beat-em-up scenario campaign. Here, combatants could roam freely through the detailed 3D environments, scavenging for weapons like baseball bats, Gatling guns, while collecting power-ups, lootable items, and currency. Upon encountering groups of enemies, the action will seamlessly transition into Tekken's iconic side-view fighting style for electrifying battles. An online co-op option was later patched for this narrative mode, allowing friends to join forces and take down enemies together in a tag team brawl. For those who lived for Tekken's competitive spark, however, the game brought the storied King of Iron Fist tournament back online with a deep-ranked casual multiplayer modes via PlayStation Network and Xbox Live. Now, players could put their mastery to the ultimate test against human challengers around the globe, studying opponents' tendencies, adapting strategies, and compiling an immersive win-loss record as they climb the ranks. This electrifying new frontier represented the future of virtual supremacy. Here's a quick spoiler alert, as I'm about to tell the story behind the scenario campaign, as well as each of the characters of Tekken 6. If you're not a fan of spoilers, please advance to the reception section as seen on the timeline below. Let's dive into this. Tekken 6 boasted a new roster of 41 playable characters and 2 unplayable boss characters. The characters making a return was Anna Williams, Armor King, Asuka Kazama, Beck Dusan, Bruce Irving, Brian Fury, Christy Monteiro, Craig Marduk, Devil Jin, Eddie Gordo, Feng Wei, Gen Ryu, Heihachi Mishima, Waran, Jin Kazama, Julia Chang, Kazuya Mishima, King II, Kuma II, Li Xiaolan, Lei Wulong, Lily de Rochefort, Ling Xiaoyu, Martial Law, Mokujin, Nina Williams, Panda, Paul Phoenix, Raven, Roger Jr., Sergei Dragunov, Steve Fox, Wang Jinrei, and Yoshimitsu. Tekken 6 ushered in a fearsome new generation of combatants hungry to make their mark at the vanguard was Alyssa Boshanovich, an advanced android capable of detaching her very limbs and deadly projectiles, the future warfare personified. Bob Richards joined the fray, a formerly fit fighter who disappeared from competition determined to pack on raw muscle mass while retaining his lightning speed. His relentless bulking regimen paid off, transforming him into an imposing juggernaut. Jack 6 represents the latest evolution of Kazuya's fearsome automated enforcer line, but this cybernetic terror man met his match in Lars Alexanderson, the headstrong leader of the Mishima Zaibatsu rebellion and Heihachi's own illegitimate son. Among the new blood was Leo Clisson, a prodigy seeking mystery while unveiling the truth behind their mother's murder at Kazuya's hands. Equally driven by a thirst of vengeance was Miguel Cabrero Rojo, a passionate Spanish matador entering the tournament to avenge his sister's tragic death. The mystical Zafina brought ancient martial arts knowledge, determined to prevent a doomsday clash of two evil stars. And should even these ultimate warriors fall, far greater threats awaited. The Mishima Zaibatsu unleashed Nancy MI-847J, a towering robot warm-up for the Colossal. Lastly was otherworldly monster and final boss Azazel. This gargantuan final boss represented the greatest challenge yet in all Tekken bosses. I'm about to cover all the characters in Tekken 6, but we'll be saving Lars, Alyssa, and Azazel's narrative analysis for the scenario campaign, due to them being the primary characters in the narrative. Starting with Bob, also known as Bob Richards, who has always been very serious about his training. He was hailed as a master of martial arts from a very young age, and he garnered many fans with his chiseled body and good looks. However, he could not defeat opponents who were larger than him. He vanished from the martial arts scene and dedicated himself to a special training regimen that increased his power and weight while maintaining agility. After several years in seclusion, Bob returned to the fighting world, a changed man. Those who knew Bob before were astonished by his transformation. His handsome looks were gone, and he gained a disproportionate amount of weight. Bob paid no attention to his critics and relied on the benefits of his training, speed, power, and unyielding weight. He decided that he was ready to return to competition and join the 6th King of Iron Fist tournament to test his martial arts abilities once again. After winning the tournament, Bob became a worldwide sensation, and his schedule was filled with a series of television and magazine interviews. However, the ending takes a surprising turn after a montage of magazine articles with Bob on the cover, appearances on talk shows, and paparazzi shots. A poster of his obese self appears on the wall. Bob, faintly seen walking past it, weighs himself in his exercise room. To his horror, the scale reads only 150 pounds. He steps off bewildered and weighs himself again, only to confirm the shocking number. Bob, now wearing baggy clothes, reveals a skinnier, slimmer body. He shouts in horror, unable to accept the fact that all his famous weight had vanished without him knowing it. Bangs his head on the wall before collapsing in the middle of the room, passing out. This ending serves as a poignant commentary on the superficial nature of fame and the unexpected consequences of obsession with physical appearance.
After winning the tournament, Bob became a worldwide sensation, and his schedule was filled with a series of television and magazine interviews.
It can't be right. How can I only be 150 pounds? No!
Another character that needs no introduction but must be highlighted due to its evolving nature is Jak 6. After Jak 5 completed collecting fight data at the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5, he returned to G Corporation's laboratories. There, Jane utilized the data in her research to develop a more sophisticated combat algorithms for him. As the conflict between G Corporation and the Mishima Zaibatsu encapsulated, mass-produced Jak units were deployed worldwide. Rumors surfaced suggesting that the Mishima Zaibatsu was developing a copy of the Jak unit for a large-scale massacre. Jane, enraged by this imitation, dispatched the more advanced model, Jak 6, to investigate the truth behind these rumors. In Jak 6's ending, Jane is depicted in a workshop, searching and calling for Jak. As he turns the corner, she discovers him having made modifications to himself by adding an assortment of tools to his body. Jane records a shot questioning about his alterations, while Jak 6 appears to be pleased with himself. Jak's story carries a significant message about the consequences of unchecked technological advancement and the potential for machines to surpass human control. Jak 6 self-modification reflects the theme of autonomy, the unpredictable nature of artificial intelligence, posing questions about the boundaries between creator and creation. Additionally, Jane's reaction highlights the ethical dilemmas inherent in the development of advanced robotics and the responsibility of those who create them.
Jak! Where are you? Jak! 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 There you are. Jak? Jak! What have you done to yourself?
Moving on to Leo. Leo was part of a very talented family. Their father worked as a famous splunker, while their mother served as a G Corporation executive. Although Leo's father disappeared during an expedition when Leo was a child, Leo still wanted to follow in the family's tradition and become a splunker. Leo possessed a strong sense of character thanks to a proper upbringing. Life was pleasant and relatively uneventful until one fateful day when Leo's mother was killed by an unknown assailant. Depressed and filled with grief, Leo became incensed when police called off their investigation quickly and without explanation. Leo vowed to find the truth. During Leo's own investigation, the G Corporation's Kazuya Mishima materialized as the person of interest. The G Corporation was popularized at the time as a world hero, making it difficult to get close to Kazuya, and it looked as though Leo's quest had reached an insurmountable impasse. It was at this time that the news of the Mishima Zaibatsu sponsored King of Iron Fist tournament began to spread. Leo learned that Kazuya Mishima was scheduled to appear in person at the event. Realizing this may be the only chance to take revenge against Kazuya, Leo decided to enter the contest. In Leo's ending, Leo pays a visit to Emma Clison's grave and finds a letter reading "Dear Leo." Leo reads it and then turns around and suddenly finds no one standing there. The camera pans over Leo's face and points up. This encapsulates Leo's journey of seeking closure and justice for the loss of their mother. The letter at Emma Clison's grave symbolizes a connection beyond the physical realm, offering Leo a sense of closure and comfort. The sudden turn in the absence of anyone standing there suggests a moment of realization, or perhaps a spiritual presence emphasizing the emotional depth of Leo's journey and the complexities of grief and vengeance. Moving on to Miguel Cabello Rojo, whose surname Cabello Rojo means Red Knight or Red Gentleman in Spanish. Miguel lived his life as a lone wolf and detested the idea of answering to anyone. Despite being born into a conservative family, his wild and unruly nature made him the black sheep of the family. The discord between Miguel and his parents caused him to run away at the age of 15 and take residence at a bar owned by an acquaintance. In spite of his family's dysfunction, Miguel kept in contact with his younger sister, whom he grew to trust and treasure. On the darker side, Miguel's overprotection concern for his sister was extreme. He almost wanted to kill her boyfriend when he heard the news that they were to be married. On the day of the marriage, Miguel was unable and unwilling to stand with his parents and participate in the service. Instead, he watched from outside the church. Looking around, Miguel noticed the sky was blue as far as the eye could see, and the plains overhead seemed to be a serene part of the festivities. Then suddenly, a blast of intense heat engulfed the area. Miguel was knocked back and sustained intense pain through his body, but rushed to the church to search for his sister. When he found her, her dress was stained in crimson red, and air no longer filled her lungs. Miguel's screams echoed through the smoldering rubble that was once the church. After hearing the aerial attack had been the work of the Mishima Zaibatsu, Miguel gave into his dark thoughts, loathing and hatred, and swore revenge upon Jin Kazama. In his ending, Jin Kazama is about to take off on a helicopter when Miguel is seen rushing towards him. Tekken 4 soldiers try to stop Miguel, but he defeats every soldier that stands in his way with either a single punch or a kick. Jin Kazama takes off and Miguel tries to grab onto the flying helicopter. He unfortunately fails at exacting his revenge. He shouts in frustration as Jin Kazama, the person who killed his sister, escapes unscathed. This encapsulates Miguel's overwhelming desire for vengeance and the depths of his anguish and frustration when denied closure. It portrays the length at which Miguel is willing to go to confront his sister's killer, highlighting his relentless determination and consuming nature of his hatred. Despite his efforts, Miguel's inability to achieve his goal leaves him in a state of profound despair, emphasizing the tragic nature of his quest for revenge. Now moving on to Zafina, which is another name of Zafir, meaning victorious in Arabic. Zafina, who possesses great spiritual prowess, was born into a group of spiritual warriors with an ancient lineage. From childhood, she was raised to be a protector of an imperial tomb. Several years ago, a foreign army attacked the imperial tomb she and her group were protecting, and Zafina single-handedly wiped every single one of them out. Since then, the group's guru appointed her to be its sole assassin. In her public life, she uses her spiritual prowess as an astrologist, but recently she can only see evil omens, and her premonitions grow more intense day by day. Seeking to understand the meaning behind all of this, Zafina sought the advice of her guru, who began to tell her the ancient tale passed down from generation to generation, only to a select few. According to the tale, two evil stars will shake the world when they come into contact, and inevitably, the two will unite, with the sealed ancient evil being protected by her group, destroying the world. Zafina considered the meaning behind the guru's tale and her premonitions as well, setting out on a course that took her far east to the place where the evil stars were believed to be gathered. She journeyed with intention of destroying them. In her ending, having defeated Azazel, Zafina exits the temple and approaches her guru. Neither says anything. They nod at each other, acknowledging Zafina's permission to re-enter the temple and seal Azazel's orb. When she re-enters the temple, the gate is closed after Zafina has been in the temple for a few minutes. The structure collapses. This reflects Zafina's role as a guardian and her commitment to fulfilling her duty, even at great personal risk. Her silent exchange with her guru signifies a mutual understanding and respect for the task at hand. By re-entering the temple to seal Azazel's orb, Zafina demonstrates her bravery and selflessness, willing to sacrifice herself to protect the world from ancient evil foretold in her visions. The collapse of the temple symbolizes the completion of her mission and the potential end of the threat posed by Azazel, marking a decisive victory for Zafina and her allies. Now that we covered the newer characters, let's dive into the ones that returned. Starting with Anna Williams. Anna suffered an embarrassing defeat at the hands of her sister Nina during the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. Anna searched for an opportunity to exact her revenge on Nina after the fight. However, Nina had been hired for a covert operation by an unknown employer and has been virtually invisible since. War engulfed the world in the wake of the chaos, triggered by the Mishima Zaibatsu. Anna caught wind of the top-secret information that linked Nina to the Mishima Zaibatsu. Anna joined the Elite G Corporation with the hope that it might lead her to her sister and a chance to exact revenge. Her ending takes place in a club where Nina and Anna are located. Anna goes in first for billiards, chalking the number of her cue up. Then the thug enters to the other table, ready to play billiards as well. Anna bumps him with her buttocks against his accidentally, causing him to stumble. The thug waves his arms around madly to stabilize himself. Anna simply apologizes. As the thug turns around, Anna clubs him accidentally with the cue stick and covers her mouth, showing a shocked expression. The thug grows furious at Anna, who isn't fazed, and draws his knife. Nina struts up next to her sister and crosses her arms. Both women staring the thug down. The thug lunges his knife at Anna, but Anna counters the man and knees him in the groin, allowing Nina to launch him into the air with the Jester cannon kick. Anna then follows up with the can opener kick, which sends the thug flying. He lands on his poolside table, dazed from the beating he had just received. Wow, Nina says to her sister. Standing behind the bar is Lee Shalon, who gives the sisters a thumbs up for their performance. This showcases Anna's determination to confront her sister and inability to handle herself in dangerous situations. Despite this accidental altercation with the thug, Anna remains composed and demonstrates her combat skills alongside Nina. Their synchronized takedown of the thug highlights their formidable bond as sisters and skilled fighters. The unexpected approval from Lee adds a surprising twist to the scene, hinting at potential alliances and hidden agendas on the ongoing conflict between the various factions.
My turn. Oops. I'm sorry.
You.
Huh? Wow.
Continuing the sibling rivalry, let's talk about Nina Williams, who has a bigger role. After defeating her sister Anna Williams, Nina Williams found herself without an immediate goal to attain. Jin Kazama, recently appointed the leader of the Mishima Zaibatsu, recruited her as a member of his special forces. As someone who wasn't selective about her clients, Nina engaged in the covert demolition operations around the world as part of the Tekken Force. As the conflict between the Mishima Zaibatsu and the G Corporation intensified, the Mishima Zaibatsu announced the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6. Nina decided to enter the tournament to eliminate anyone who poses a threat to Jin Kazama. In her ending, Nina is in attendance at the Mishima Zaibatsu Victory Celebration banquet. She applies her lipstick in the bathroom, grinning at her reflection when she's done. Suddenly, Anna leaps in, attempting to kick Nina but shattering the mirror instead. A fight ensues in the bathroom, making the surrounding building shake and even shattering the mirror in the corridor outside. Nina emerges victorious, pleased with herself. Anna lies unconscious on the bathroom floor, her face covered in crude lipstick drawings applied by Nina. This underscores Nina's ruthless nature and her willingness to engage in conflict, even with her own sister. The chaotic brawl in the bathroom demonstrates Nina's combat prowess and her ability to emerge triumphant in intense situations. The crude lipstick drawings on Anna's face symbolize Nina's dominance and her desire to assert her superiority over her sister. It also highlights the complex relationship between Nina and Anna, characterized by rivalry and resentment. Now let's talk about Lee Xiaolan, who joined the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 to exact revenge against his adopted brother Kazuya Mishima. However, Lee lost interest in the tournament when he learned that it was actually Jinpachi Mishima who started it. He returned to his home in the Bahamas. As the world fell into disarray at the hands of the Mishima Zaibatsu, led by Jin Kazama, and the G Corporation rose as an opposing power, Lee, who owned a large portion of stock in the G Corporation, became greatly concerned about their exclusive exercise of military force. He secretly arranged an investigation into the changes that had occurred within the G Corporation and discovered that Kazuya was at the helm behind the scenes. Upon learning that Kazuya will participate in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6, Lee used his G Corporation stockholders' complimentary ticket to enter the tournament to get closer to Kazuya. In his ending, Lee is preparing to play what seems to be a normal game of golf until it's revealed that Heihachi Mishima, Kazuya Mishima, and Jin Kazama were strapped to what looks like rockets on the other side of the field. Lee swings the first ball, which only lands some distance from the three captive men. Heihachi laughs, gloating, "Lee, you missed," only for the golf ball to explode, sending dust up the latter's face. As a result, the first coil of rope becomes loose on the three rockets, while Lee himself prepares 4 more golf balls, each with a bomb symbol on them. A swing later, the bomb explodes near the rockets, sending them, Heihachi, Kazuya, and Jin, respectively sky high, and then exploding fireworks against the blue sky. A woman joyfully screams "nice shot" while clapping. Lee finds himself chuckles before the camera zooms in on his face. He takes off his sunglasses, smiles directly at the camera, and saying his famous catchphrase, "Excellent." This showcases Lee's cunning and resourcefulness in dealing with his adversaries, using unconventional means to achieve his goals. The explosive golf balls and presence of precise shots demonstrate his strategic prowess and his ability to outmaneuver even the most powerful opponents. Lee's calm demeanor and confident smile at the end highlight his satisfaction with the outcome and his enjoyment of the game.
Excellent.
Moving on to Lee's adopted brother Kazuya Mishima. After he had killed the G Corporation officials who betrayed him, Kazuya Mishima succeeded in taking control of the corporation from behind the scenes. In the meantime, the world was quickly slipping into chaos due to the activities of the Mishima Zaibatsu led by Jin Kazama. Kazuya could never accept the world controlled by anyone but himself, and he set out to use the military power of the G Corporation by the nations of the world for his heroic actions. When the G Corporation's public influence had become great enough, Kazuya used it to announce his hefty bounty for anyone who could capture Jin Kazama alive. In reply, the Mishima Zaibatsu announced the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6. This was just as Kazuya predicted, and it put a satisfied smile on his face. In his ending, the Tekken Force are lined up before Azazel's temple and point their guns towards the temple entrance. Kazuya emerges from within the temple and holds up the body of Devil Jin for all to see. On seeing the body of their leader, Tekken Force slowly lower their weapons. Then they quickly stand in attention to salute Kazuya, recognizing him as the new leader of the Mishima Zaibatsu. Kazuya smirks and gives a maniacal laugh. This exemplifies Kazuya's manipulative, power-hungry nature, showcasing his ability to exert dominance and command loyalty from his followers. Holding up the body of Devil Jin symbolizes Kazuya's triumph over his adversary and solidifies his position as the new leader of the Mishima Zaibatsu. The Tekken Force salute underscores the allegiance to Kazuya, highlighting his influence and authority within the organization. Kazuya's smirk and maniacal laugh at the end signify his satisfaction with this achievement, his relentless pursuit of power, setting the stage for further conflicts in Tekken's lore. Moving on to the previous game's sub-boss, Devil Jin makes a dark return to the narrative. Jin Kazama is an individual under the control of Devil Jin. His power has gone beyond that of a regular human being and rivals that of a demon. Devil Jin's ending consists of defeating Azazel. Devil Jin takes the orb of Azazel's chest, hoping to attain more power from it. This severely backfires, and his powers are absorbed by the orb, presumably due to the fact that the Devil Jin is from the power of Azazel himself, as clued by the tattoo similar between Devil Jin and Azazel. Jin passes out, showing out the tattoo. This possibly means the removal of his Devil Jin. At this point, the ending crosses over with Zafina's ending. Zafina takes the orb and leaves. The temple is then shown falling to ruin. This ending highlights Devil Jin's relentless pursuit of power and the consequences of his actions. Despite defeating Azazel, Devil Jin's attempt to absorb more power ultimately leads to his downfall, as his own powers are absorbed instead. The removal of the Devil Jin tattoo suggests a significant transformation or purification, possibly indicating the removal of the Devil Jin from Jin Kazama. The crossover with Zafina ending add layers of depth to the narrative, suggesting connection between their respective quests and the fate of Azazel's orb. The temple falling to ruin symbolizes the end of a chapter in Devil Jin's journey and the potential repercussions of meddling with dark forces. Now let's move on to the man that had a heel turn and was the driving force of the narrative, Jin Kazama. Jin Kazama defeated Jinpachi Mishima and took over the Mishima Zaibatsu. He utilized his elite military unit, the Tekken Force, to carry out covert missions in order to engulf the world in chaos. Once he had rendered most countries' military powers useless, he took over the space colonies, oil fields, and other energy-producing resources. He declared the Mishima Zaibatsu's independence and waged war against the rest of the world. The Mishima Zaibatsu swept across the globe, taking over nation after nation. But as the war continued, new opposing forces slowly began to show their presence. Jin learned that Kazuya Mishima was controlling the first and most powerful opposition, the G Corporation. When the G Corporation had put a price on his head, Jin announced the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6 as if he had been waiting for the G Corporation to make its move. In his ending, outside Azazel's temple, Jin stands over Kazuya's prone body. A Tekken Force helicopter descended with his bodyguard Nina standing in his doorway. However, it becomes apparent that she is not conscious, and she is dropped from the aircraft by Heihachi, who had been commandeering this helicopter the entire time. Heihachi leaps out of the helicopter to start a fight, telling Jin that he will return the Zaibatsu back to him. Jin is victorious and escapes the collapsing temple on another of his Tekken Force helicopters to head back to HQ. This showcases Jin's strategic cunning and his ability to outmaneuver his adversaries, even when facing unexpected challenges. His defeat of Kazuya and subsequent confrontation with Heihachi underscores his dominance with the Mishima family and his determination to maintain control over the Zaibatsu. Jin's escape from the collapsing temple symbolizes his continued pursuit of power and his readiness to face whatever obstacle come his way with his quest for dominance. Overall, this ending highlights Jin's evolution into a ruthless and formidable leader, willing to do whatever it takes to achieve his goals. Now let's get into Heihachi, who was not unconscious when the Jack military units he was fighting self-destructed when he came to and the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 was already over. He went home without any knowledge of the events that occurred at the tournament, where he was ambushed by the Tekken Force. Afterward, the Mishima Zaibatsu announced the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6. Heihachi was furious when he heard that Jin had taken control of the Zaibatsu and left for the tournament to reclaim control over it. In his ending, located at a space station, Heihachi is seen preparing to kick both Jin Kazama and Kazuya Mishima into space, all three wearing spacesuits. He proceeds to kick Jin into space, but Kazuya proves to be a real problem, as he begins to kick Heihachi twice, causing the latter to drift into space as well. All three Mishimas are left burning as shooting stars upon re-entry. Genryu can be seen witnessing and whispering Julia. This illustrates Heihachi's relentless pursuit of power and determination to maintain control over the Mishima Zaibatsu. His attempt to eliminate both Jin and Kazuya demonstrates his uncompromising nature and his willingness to resort to extreme measures to achieve his goals. However, the unexpected turn of events with Kazuya retaliating despite being bound symbolizes the unpredictability of the Mishima family dynamics and constant struggle for dominance among his members. Heihachi's fate drifting into space alongside his adversary signifies the ultimate downfall of his ambitions and the tragic end to the Mishima family legacy. Overall, this ending encapsulates themes of power, betrayal, and redemption that define Heihachi's character arc through the entire Tekken series. Now let's move on to Genryu. During the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5, Genryu lost his way and stumbled upon the Mishima Zaibatsu's laboratories. Within it, he found a disc containing research data concerning a reforestation program. He hoped Julia would agree to marry him if he brought her the data. However, Julia turned him down and left with the disc. After that, Genryu returned to Hawaii and opened a restaurant called Chanko Paradise. But the restaurant did not do well, and Ganryu found himself in financial distress. It was then that he discovered the news of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6. He decided to participate in the tournament in order to advertise his restaurant, Chanko Paradise. In his ending, Ganryu has just defeated Azazel. He takes the orb out of Azazel's body and gazes at it. Then the strange energy from the orb ripples through Ganryu's orb, injecting him with the devil gene and causing him to grow horns and wings, long nails, and even the devil mark on his back. Devil Ganryu remarks at the awesomeness that this is, the incredible power flowing through his veins. But as he attempts to fly away, he is unable to do so because of his weight and despondently says, "But I can't fly." This highlights Ganryu's comedic side and his desire for recognition and success. His initial excitement at gaining immense power through the devil gene quickly turns to disappointment when he realizes the practical limitations such as his inability to fly due to his weight. The contrast between his grandiose aspirations and the humorous inability to fly due to his weight. His initial excitement at gaining immense power through the devil gene quickly turns to disappointment when he realizes the practical limitations such as his inability to fly due to his weight. The contrast between his grandiose aspirations and the humorous reality adds depth to his character and provides a light-hearted moment in the midst of the tournament's intense battles. Ganryu's journey from hopeful suitor to a struggling restaurant owner to an unwitting recipient of demonic powers reflects the unpredictable and over-whimsical nature of the Tekken universe. Overall, the ending showcases Ganryu's resilience and ability to find humor even in the most unexpected situations. Moving on to Julia Chang. After recovering her stolen data, Julia completed her reforestation research. She headed back to Arizona to meet with a party who had agreed to assist in the realization of her reforestation plans. Waiting for her there was a prominent Arizona landowner, an old woman who claimed to have the ability to hear the voice of spirits. With the help of the old woman, the reforestation plans were on track to be realized. However, when Julia got up there to leave, the old woman made an ominous prediction. Jin Kazama and Kazuya Mishima must not be allowed to clash. If they confront each other, a source of great evil will be resurrected and unleashed on the earth. Julia was skeptical of the old lady's prediction. However, after hearing the news that the Mishima Zaibatsu had sponsored the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6 on her flight home, the danger seemed much more intimate. Julia decided that she would enter the tournament. In her ending, the scene begins with the eagle soaring up to a rock which Julia is climbing. Suddenly, a piece of rock Julia is holding on to breaks, causing her to fall. Fortunately, she grabs hold of a lower piece while falling. With a leap of confidence, she jumps back up to the rock and reaches the top. She exclaims, "Wow, this is beautiful, absolutely breathtaking," as she looks at the peaceful scenery. This highlights Julia's resilience and adventurous spirit. Despite facing challenges and ominous predictions, Julia remains determined and optimistic as she continues her journey. The scene of her climbing the rock and marveling at the beauty of the nature reflects her connection to the environment and her commitment to her cause of reforestation. Julia's ability to overcome obstacles with grace and confidence exemplifies her strength of character and serves as an inspiring conclusion to her storyline in the tournament. Overall, her ending portrays her as a courageous and resourceful individual who remains undeterred in the face of adversity.
It's beautiful. Absolutely breathtaking.
Let's move on to Craig Marduk, a boastful character who fought against King II during the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. Although he lost, he and King had a friendly handshake after the match. Upon returning to his room, the lights had suddenly went out, and Marduk was attacked. When the lights came back, he saw the suspected culprit, Armor King, whom Marduk thought he had killed in Tekken 4. Thereafter, the world became engulfed in war. At the peak of global chaos, the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6 was announced. Marduk reasoned that if he entered the tournament, perhaps the attacker would appear, along with his new ally, King. Marduk entered the contest to find his attacker. In the ending, while in a graveyard, Marduk is shoveling dirt, digging up Armor King's grave, in order to confirm that the body there is his and he is dead. When he opens Armor King's grave and sees the body intact inside, confirming that Armor King is indeed dead, a mysterious figure who resembles Armor King gives Marduk a blank stare in silence after being asked who he is. King II arrives at the graveyard and asks the figure who he is. The figure claims to be Armor King and no one else. Marduk believes it to be a lie as he killed Armor King with his own hands. But the figure calling himself Armor King states that the name is not exclusive to just one persona. He claims that he is the one, but so was his late brother, known as Armor King I, whom Marduk killed 2 years ago, thus making the figure Armor King II. Armor King deemed that his brother's murder was unforgivable and points at Marduk as a sign of revenge. This delves into Marduk's past consequences of his actions. It reveals the complexities of vengeance and the cynical nature of violence within the second universe. Marduk's confrontation with Armor King II highlights the weight of his past deeds and lingering guilt and remorse that he carries. The revelation of Armor King II's identity adds a layer of mystery and intrigue, challenging Marduk's perception of justice and retribution. Overall, the ending provides insight into Marduk's character development and the ongoing conflicts that drive the narrative forward in the Tekken universe.
He should be dead. So then, who are you?
Let's talk about Armor King II. A mysterious wrestler in a black jaguar mask, steel armor, who appeared suddenly after attacking Craig Marduk in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. His true identity remains a mystery. In his ending, Armor King is holding a photograph of the two Armor Kings. He stands up and starts to walk away. In conjunction with King II and Marduk's endings, King was seen holding a photograph of his dead mentor. When trying to place it back, it slipped and the frame cracked. Behind the photo was another one, shockingly revealing two Armor Kings. King II stared at it in shock. The scene shifts to Marduk digging up the first Armor King's grave. He sees the dead body and abruptly stands up, turns around and asks who the fighter was. He stands silently behind him. King arrives at the graveyard last, asking who exactly the fighter is. The man donning the black jaguar mask asserts that he is Armor King and no one else. Marduk deems this foolish that he's killed this person with his own hands, plus the fact that he had just seen the body. The mysterious person reveals that Armor King is not just one person, but that he is the younger brother of Armor King I, thus making him Armor King II. Armor King II says that he will never forgive Marduk for killing his brother 2 years ago. This adds depth to the mystery surrounding Armor King and sheds light on the intricacies of his identity. The revelation of Armor King II as the younger brother of Armor King I adds a new dimension to the character's backstory and motivations. The ending also explores the themes of vengeance, redemption, as Armor King II seeks justice for his brother's death at the hands of Marduk. Overall, it provides a compelling conclusion to Armor King's storyline and sets the stage for future developments in the Tekken lore.
Don't lie to me. I killed him with my own hands. What the?
let's delve into King the Second story. In the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5, King faced Marduk in a grueling battle that ironically resulted in a friendship between the two after the fight. Upon returning from the ring, Marduk was ambushed by someone dressed as Armor King. King was furious and vowed to find the culprit, but was unsuccessful in his attempt. With the world engulfed in war, King all but gave up looking for Marduk's attacker. When he received an invitation from Marduk to join the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6, if they both participate in the tournament, perhaps the Armor King imposter would appear once again. With that hope in mind, King decided to take part in the contest. In King II's ending, he's seen in his room looking at a picture of his deceased master. He carefully tries to put the picture back, but accidentally bumps against the sill. The frame drops to the floor, and the glass covering breaks. Looking into the frame, King notices another photo behind his master. The hidden photos show two Armor Kings. King looks on, shocked. In conjunction with Marduk and Armor King's endings, the assailant is sitting in a room staring at the same picture King finds hidden. He then stands up and walks away. The scene shifts to Marduk digging up Armor King's grave, only to find that it's emptied and he is indeed dead. Marduk abruptly stands up and asks who the assailant is, and he happens to be standing right behind him. King arrives in the graveyard to join the two, asking the assailant exactly who he is. The attacker asserts that he is Armor King and no one else. Marduk deemed this as foolish as he had just seen the body, plus he had killed him with his own hands. The mysterious person then reveals that he was the brother of Armor King, thus making him Armor King II. Armor King then says he would not forgive Marduk for dealing the finishing blow to his brother, as Armor King I had cardiac problems as well. This intricately weaves together the stories of King II, Marduk, and Armor King II, unraveling the mystery behind Armor King II's identity and the events that transpired during the tournament. It explores themes of betrayal, vengeance, and brotherhood, adding depth to the characters' motivations and relationships. Overall, it provides a satisfying conclusion to King II's narrative arc in Tekken 6 and sets the stage for further development in the Tekken lore. Now let's explore Steve Fox's journey. After destroying the Research Institute of the Mishima Zaibatsu, Steve finally settled a long-time feeling of resentment. He harbored a strong desire to return to the world of boxing, only to find that most major matches were canceled due to the outbreak of war worldwide. With his primary source of livelihood and passion disrupted, Steve fell into a state of depression. However, a glimmer of hope emerged when he received an invitation to train with martial law and Paul Phoenix, offering him a chance to explore martial arts beyond boxing, which he eagerly accepted. In Steve's ending, he, Paul Phoenix, and martial law celebrate their victory of the tournament in a small hut, with the Mishima Zaibatsu delivering the prize money. Despite Paul's reminder to split the money 3 ways as promised, Steve declines his share, stating that the experience alone was rewarding enough. He leaves the hut while Paul and martial law rejoice over the wealth they now possess. Unbeknownst to them, the Zaibatsu has planted a bomb inside one of the cases of money. As they continue celebrating, unaware of the immediate danger, the bomb detonates, seemingly killing Paul and Law. Meanwhile, Steve standing at a distance witnessing the explosion with a shocked expression on his face, realizing the tragic consequence of the celebration.
It's all ours!
Three-way split, just like we promised.
The experience alone was reward enough. You two can split it amongst yourselves. See you around.
Man,
Thanks, Steve!
he's a great guy.
Cheers! It's all ours!
Now on to martial law. During the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5, martial law's illegal employment in Japan was detected, leading to his deportation back to the United States. With the decline to pay for his son's accident looming and no means to deliver the cash, Law found himself in a desperate situation. However, a timely invitation from his friend Paul Phoenix to team up in the next tournament offered a glimmer of hope. Realizing that winning the top prize money alone would be challenging, Law saw an opportunity to increase their chances by teaming up with another fighter. Accepting Paul's invitation, Law set his sights on recruiting the world-famous boxer Steve Fox. In Law's ending, we see him celebrating with Paul Phoenix and Steve Fox in a distant house, surrounded by numerous larger money cases, a clear indication of their victory from the tournament. However, Law holds a small bottle labeled Strong Laxatives. With quick hands, he sprinkles the laxative onto whole pizzas, claiming it's his special recipe. Paul and Steve eagerly consume the pizza, praising its taste, and they are merely struck by the laxative effects. Their faces turning pale blue, rushing to the bathroom in agony. They leave Law unnoticed. Seizing the opportunity, Law sneaks out of the house with all of the money cases on his back, bidding farewell with a nonchalant, "Sorry guys, see ya." This ending humorously showcases Law's cunning and opportunistic nature, as he cleverly takes advantage of the situation to secure the prize money for himself.
Cheers! Yeah! All thanks to you, Steve.
It's ready! My special recipe pizza!
It's about time.
It looks delicious.
This is good. No! No! Come on, man!
Sorry, guys. See ya!
Moving on to Paul Phoenix, who found himself burdened with the enormous debt after his victory over Kuma in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. With the announcement of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6, Paul saw an opportunity to better his previous finish and clear his debts. Determined to win, he realized that his past failure stemmed from entering the tournament alone. This time, he decided to team up with someone to increase his chances, choosing his longtime friend Martial Law as his partner. In his ending, Paul and Law resort to underhanded tactics through the tournament, employing strategies like spiking competitors with laxatives and trapping them in rooms to secure their spots in the final round. As they face each other in the ring for the ultimate showdown, they plan a rigged match where Law will execute a flying kick and Paul will dodge it. However, when the moment arises, Paul fails to react in time, resulting in Law's kick connecting with Paul's face and Paul's punch landing to Law's groin. Both fighters are left incapacitated. Much to the disappointment of the audience, ringside, Steve looks in disbelief at the flawed execution of their plans, showcasing their overconfidence and resulting in a comical outcome that leaves them both defeated and ridiculed.
Paul and Law stopped at nothing in their attempt to win the tournament prize money, and slowly but surely made their way to the final round. They had set the stage carefully, and everything went according to their plan.
Let's get started!
Leave it to me. Just as we planned.
Not over. Yeah.
In Kuma's tale, following his close defeat to Paul in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5, he felt a profound sense of duty to protect the Mishima Zaibatsu, especially after the passing of his master Heihachi Mishima. Determined to reclaim what he believed was rightfully his, Kuma embarked on a journey to confront the new leader Jin Kazama. Despite his overwhelming power, Kuma's resilience allowed him to survive a brutal encounter, leading him to return with an unwavering determination to challenge Jin once more and claim his place within the Mishima Zaibatsu. In his ending, Kuma devises a plan reminiscent of Heihachi's intending to dispose of both Jin and Kazuya. However, as he celebrates his perceived victory, his exuberance inadvertently leads to a tear in his spacesuit, sending him hurtling into the vastness of outer space alongside Jin and Kazuya. The trio's descent back to Earth mirrors a fiery spectacle resembling shooting stars streaking through the cosmos. Ganrai, witnessing the spectacle, expresses his desire for Julia Chang, highlighting the interconnectedness of the characters' fates in the Tekken universe. This ending encapsulates Kuma's unwavering loyalty to the Mishima Zaibatsu, even at the cost of his own safety, and serves as a humorous yet poignant conclusion to his quest for redemption and honor. In Panda's journey through the King of Iron for Tournament 5, she initially served as Ling Xiaoyu's steadfast protector, accompanying her through the tournament. However, their peaceful respite was abruptly disrupted upon learning that Heihachi Mishima was still alive and the Mishima Zaibatsu had declared war. Despite her reluctance, Panda stood by Xiaoyu's side once again as they ventured back into the terminus world of the tournament. In her ending, the narrative takes a comedic turn as Panda and Xiaoyu inadvertently find themselves caught in the midst of a clash between Lily and Asuka. As the confrontation escalates, Panda's haste to reach school leads to a chaotic collision, sending Lily and Asuka, even their limousine, flying in opposite directions. This ensuing chaos sees Lily and Asuka exchanging bemused glances before joining forces to pursue Panda and Xiaoyu while injecting humor into her misadventures, underscoring the light-hearted and playful spirit of their journey. Let's move on to Ling Xiaoyu, who finds herself embroiled with the turmoil surrounding the Mishima Zaibatsu's power struggle. Despite her initial relief hearing of Heihachi Mishima's survival, Xiaoyu soon becomes determined to intervene in the conflict brewing between Heihachi and Jin Kazama. However, her efforts are thwarted by the escalating tensions and the military action of the Mishima Zaibatsu. With the world descending into chaos, Xiaoyu sees the tournament as her opportunity to confront Jin and implore him to abandon his destructive path. In her ending, Xiaoyu's resolve to reach out to Jin is encapsulated in a heartfelt encounter atop a rooftop. Racing against time, she pleads with Jin, who stands on the pinnacle of despair. Her earnest appeal touches Jin's heart, prompting at a moment of connection between the two. However, the scene fades away, revealing that the tender moment was but a dream, as Xiaoyu slumbers atop Panda. This dream sequence pointedly reflects Xiaoyu's subconscious desire for reconciliation and her unwavering commitment to those she cares about. As she awakens disoriented, the dream lingers in her mind, echoing the inner turmoil she grapples with the immense chaos of reality.
ダメよジン、死のうなんて。
俺の罪は決して許されるものではない。
私が守るから。だからジン、お願い。死のうだなんて考えないで。
ありがとう、シャオ。
ジン。ダメよ、そんなこと。あれ？ここは？
Now making our way to Lei Wulong, who came to Japan pursuing Feng Wei. However, Feng's trail ended and he was unable to catch him. Upon returning home, Lei was tasked with suppressing global disturbances, halting his search for Feng. Amidst the chaos of a world at war, Lei discovered the clandestine activities of the Mishima Zaibatsu and decided to infiltrate the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6 to uncover the truth behind the turmoil. In his ending, Lee finds himself at a Chinese market street attempting to enjoy a meal of noodles. However, his peace is disrupted when a thief steals a bag and attempts to flee. Acting swiftly, Lei uses his skills to trip the thief, leading to his capture. Despite successfully apprehending the criminal, Lei's attempt to return the meal ends in a comedic misfortune as he forgets about the stool he kicked, resulting in a clumsy fall. This serves as a lighthearted conclusion to Lei's story, showcasing his dedication to justice and ability to swiftly apprehend wrongdoers, even in the midst of everyday life. It adds a touch of humor to Lei's character, highlighting his proficiency in martial arts, while also portraying him as a relatable and somewhat clumsy figure, ultimately ending the reflects of Lei's commitment and duties as a law enforcement officer, even in the moment of unexpected chaos.
Noodles, please. Move! Get out of the way! Yeah! The bag! Leave it here! This is Wulong. I have a purse snatcher in custody.
Feng Wei, driven by a quest to master the mystical art of the Divine Fist, entered the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 to retrieve the Shuriken Scrolls from the Mishima Zaibatsu Vault. However, upon obtaining them, he discovered they contained cryptic teachings rather than specific techniques. Undentured, Feng embarked on a journey around the world, challenging fighters of diverse martial arts styles. When rumors of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6 surfaced, Feng saw it as an opportunity to further enhance his power and dominance. In this ending, Feng Wei showcases exceptional skills and mastery as he stands atop an active volcano. When a massive flaming boulder hurls towards him, Feng calmly focuses and effortlessly punches it, cooling the rock and dispersing molten debris. This display of control over natural elements reflects Feng's attainment of supreme martial prowess, reinforcing his status as a formidable warrior. The ending symbolizes Feng's unwavering determination and his ability to overcome any obstacle in his quest for power and mastery. Asuka Kazama entered the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 with the intention of confronting Feng Wei, who had severely injured her father. However, she was unable to locate him during the tournament, and life gradually returned to normal. However, peace was short-lived as global chaos erupted. Upon discovering her connection to Jin Kazama, the Mishima Zaibatsu leader and the architect of the turmoil, Asuka resolved to hold him accountable by participating in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6. In her ending, Asuka's ordinary day takes a chaotic turn when she rushes to school on her bike, only to be blocked by Lili's limousine. Frustrated, Asuka crashes her bike, spilling her lunch. As Lily emerges from the limo, tensions arise as the two exchange heated words before exchanging a fierce physical altercation. The scene underscores Asuka's fiery temperament and her willingness to stand up against adversaries, even in seemingly mundane situations. It also highlights the ongoing rivalry between Asuka and Lily, depicting their clash as a recurring theme in their lives.
あかん、急がな、遅刻や遅刻。
How awful. My first day at school is completely ruined.
Let's delve into the story of Emily de Rochefort, also known as Lily. The King of Iron Fist Tournament 5, Lily participated without her father's approval and suffered defeat at the hands of Asuka Kazama. Upon her father's discovery of her secret involvement, he confined her to their home, preventing her from seeking revenge against Asuka. Lily's family faced further hardship when their oil field was seized by the Mishima Zaibatsu, leading to her father's collapse due to overwork. Motivated by her concern for her father's well-being, Lily resolved to reclaim the oil field and alleviate his anxiety. When the Mishima Zaibatsu announced the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6, Lily saw as an opportunity to regain control of the oil field and aid her father, prompting her to enter the competition. In her ending, Asuka rides her bike, expressing her concern about being late for school. However, her path is disrupted by Lily's sudden appearance in a limousine. Asuka crashes her bike into a surprise, causing her lunch to spill. Lily emerges from the limo in her school uniform, provoking Asuka into a confrontation. The exchange escalates into a physical altercation, fueled by Asuka's frustration over the food being destroyed. Meanwhile, Lily's butler, Sebastian, exits the car, unaware of the situation, and expresses pride in Lily's apparent social interaction. This scene captures the ongoing rivalry between Asuka and Lily, emphasizing their contrasting personalities and the tension between them.
急がな、遅刻や遅刻。
I found you, Asuka Kazama. Too bad it will be a short reunion.
やかましいわこのドワゴ。食い物の恨みがでかいってこと。思い知らせたれ。
Brilliant. She's already making friends. I'm so proud of her.
Baek Do-san, a renowned Taekwondo master, entered the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 alongside his apprentice, Hwoarang. However, his participation was cut short when he learned of Hwoarang's critical injuries inflicted by Jin Kazama, prompting Baek to rush to his student's side. Despite emergency treatment saving Hwoarang's life, Baek was consumed by guilt for failing to adequately prepare him for the encounter with Jin. Motivated by Hwoarang's determination to become stronger, Baek dedicated himself wholeheartedly to training his apprentice upon their return to Korea. As they honed their skills together, preparing for the looming threat of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6 announced by the Mishima Zaibatsu, Baek poured his efforts into guiding Hwoarang's growth. In his ending, Baek emerged victorious against Azazel, is visibly exhausted by the grueling battle. As Hwoarang enters the chamber, concerned about his master's well-being, Baek rises to his feet with a reassuring smile. However, their moment of release is short-lived as Azazel resurfaces, targeting Hwoarang with a devastating attack. In a selfless act, Baek positions himself between Azazel and his student, delivering a decisive blow that vanquishes the creature, sacrificing himself to save Hwoarang. Baek collapses knowing that he protected his apprentice. Overwhelmed with grief, Hwoarang kneels beside his fallen master, mourning the loss of the man who trained and mentored him. Baek's demise serves as a poignant reminder of the depth of his bond with Hwoarang and the ultimate price he was willing to pay to ensure his student's safety.
사범님! 괜찮으세요?
Now for Baek's pupil, Hwoarang. Having triumphed over Jin in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5, found himself facing a terrifying transformation when Jin unleashed his devilish prowess. Despite being overpowered and rendered unconscious, Hwoarang awoke in a hospital bed, driven by an unwavering determination to become stronger. Urgently seeking guidance from his mentor, Baek Do-san, Hwoarang embarked on a relentless training regimen upon his release from the hospital. With his sights set on defeating his former rival, He poured his heart and soul into preparation for the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6. In his ending, Warang emerges victorious against Azazel, but his triumph is marred by the discovery of a mysterious purple orb within the creature's chest. As he examines it, the orb begins to corrupt his physical form, imbuing him with the demonic attributes reminiscent of the devil Jin. Refusing to succumb to this influence, Warang fearlessly resists the transformation, asserting his identity and rejecting the dark path of his adversary. With a defiant cry, he shatters the orb, reclaiming his true self and affirming his resolve to walk his own path, distinct from the darkness that threatened to consume him. This ending serves as a testament to Warang's strength of will and his determination to resist the temptations of power, ultimately reaffirming his commitment to righteous and self-mastery. Now for Bruce Irving. Having aligned himself with Kazuya Mishima during the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 played a pivotal role in Kazuya Mishima's bid to seize control of the G Corporation. Tasked with eliminating operatives of the Mishima Zaibatsu as the leader of a private force under Kazuya's command, Bruce traversed the globe, engaging in covert operations to further their agenda. With tensions escalating between the G Corporation and Mishima Zaibatsu, Bruce found himself at the forefront of a conflict that would shape the fate of both organizations. As the inevitable clash loomed on the horizon, Bruce seized the opportunity presented in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6, engaging in the completion with the aim of capturing Jin Kazama and securing the bounty placed on his head by the G Corporation. In his ending, Bruce demonstrates his leadership and combat prowess as he leads a group of G Corporation soldiers in a decisive assault against the Mishima Zaibatsu, single-handedly taking down numerous enemies with precision and skill. Bruce's tactical acumen proves instrumental in securing victory for his forces. With the enemy forces subdued, Bruce contacts headquarters to claim victory in a bet, indicating his confidence and competitive nature even in the heart of battle. His readiness to clean up and his swift action to regroup his troops underscore his efficiency and effectiveness as a leader within the G Corporation, highlighting his commitment to achieving their objectives with determination and resolve.
You guys cover me! Lower your weapons! Lower your weapons! Don't move! Bruce here. Area clear. It looks like I won the bet. Over.
This is HQ. Yeah, I know. Now go in and clean up. Over.
You don't need to tell me twice. Let's go, everyone!
Brian Fury, the cyborg, entered the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 tournament with the intention of testing his newly acquired perpetual generator. However, his plans were repeatedly thwarted by the interference of Yoshimitsu, leaving Brian frustrated and unable to unleash his full potential of his newfound power source. Driven by an insatiable desire for destruction, Brian turned to the world's battlefields, wreaking havoc, indiscriminately in search for a true challenge. Dissatisfied with his adversaries he encountered, Brian eagerly awaited the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6, viewing it as an opportunity to confront opponents worthy of his might. In his ending, Brian demonstrates his formidable combat prowess as he single-handedly engages in battle on a war-torn battlefield. Armed with a rocket launcher in one hand and a Gatling gun in the other, Brian unleashes a relentless assault in a nearby helicopter, causing it to crash with precision and efficiency. Emerging unscathed from the wreckage, Brian's victorious demeanor and confident smile reflect his satisfaction in overcoming yet another formidable obstacle. His ability to navigate through the chaos and emerge triumphant underscores his status as a relentless, unstoppable force to be reckoned with in the world of combat. Yoshimitsu, the space ninja, embarked on a journey to restore balance to the enchanted Yoshimitsu, a powerful sword spiraling into chaos. Pursuing Brian Fury in a quest for vengeance for his fallen clansmen, Yoshimitsu witnessed the sword's descent into disorder, driven by his insatiable thirst for blood. To counteract this malevolent influence, Yoshimitsu acquired another sword capable of temporarily sealing the enchanted Yoshimitsu power, thus staving off his wild cravings. Determined to restore harmony, Yoshimitsu entered the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6, where he sought to confront wicked spirits, bringing the equilibrium to the enchanted control. In his ending, Yoshimitsu emerges victorious after defeating Azazel, the mystical orb from the creature's chest gravitating towards him. As the orb attaches to his cursed sword, Yoshimitsu grapples with his newfound power, struggling to control the weapon now enhanced by the orb's energy. Despite his effort, Yoshimitsu succumbs to the sword's transformation and demeanor, shifting into a state of berserk fury. With an otherworldly aura emanating from the orb within his chest, Yoshimitsu unleashes a devastating slash, serving a portion of Azazel's chamber. The outcome of his unleashed power remains shrouded in mystery, leaving his ultimate fate unknown. Now it's time for the two Capoeira masters, Chrissy Monteiro and Eddie Gordo, whose stories are entwined with a tale of lost loyalty and redemption. Chrissy's story revolves around her relentless search for Eddie and his sudden disappearance, entwined with their efforts to save her grandfather. Despite her determination, she is left with unanswered questions as she delves into the mystery surrounding the Mishima Zaibatsu. Conversely, Eddie finds himself caught in a pact with Jin Kazama, agreeing to join the Tekken Force in exchange for medical aid for his mentor. Despite his initial intentions, Eddie becomes embroiled in a cycle of destruction, torn between his loyalty to Jin and the consequences of his actions. Their shared ending in the graveyard serves as a poignant culmination of their individual journeys. Christie's tearful interaction upon seeing Eddie signifies her emotional turmoil and longing for his presence, as well as the grief over her grandfather's fate. Her slap and subsequent embrace reveal her complex feelings of anger, relief, and sorrow upon finally reuniting with Eddie, albeit too late to save her grandfather. For Eddie, the act of rippling off the Mishima Zaibatsu pin symbolizes the reunification of his ties to Jin and the Tekken Force. It represents his redemption and desire to break free from the cycle of violence and chart his own path away from the darkness that consumed him. This highlights the themes of forgiveness, redemption, and the enduring bond between Chrissy and Eddie amidst the chaos of the King of Iron Fist tournament. It serves as a moment of clarity and resolution for both characters, paving the way for a new chapter in their entwined destinies.
Grandpa. Where have you been? You're too late.
Now let's get into the White Angel of Death, Sergei Dragunov, whose story revolves around his mission to capture the organism known as the Devil on the orders of the Russian military command. In his pursuit, he infiltrates the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 but fails to locate the target. Amidst the chaos, a civil disturbance in Russia believed to be caused by the Mishima Zaibatsu operatives, Dragunov is commissioned to suppress national unrest. After fighting his way across the country, he is called back by the Russian military and tasked with infiltrating the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6 to crush the Mishima Zaibatsu, leading him back to Japan. In Dragunov's ending, the Russian military successfully captures Azazel, the target of his mission. However, Raven, a skilled operative, intervenes and distracts a magenta-colored orb from Azazel. Raven attempts to escape with the orb, but Dragunov detonates a charge planted on the plane, thwarting Raven's escape. This ending leaves the outcome of the confrontation unresolved, but Dragunov's acts suggest a commitment to his mission and his readiness to eliminate any threats to his objectives, which highlights Dragunov's ruthless dedication to his mission as well as willingness to take decisive action to achieve his goals. It also showcases the complexities of conflicts within the Tekken universe and the rivalry between various characters and organizations. Overall, Dragunov's ending adds depth to his character and emphasizes his role as a formidable and determined operative in the Tekken storyline.
Be careful with it!
Slowly. Okay, straight ahead.
Now let's cover Raven, whose narrative revolves around his mission to stop the escalating conflict between the Mishima Zaibatsu and the G Corporation. After infiltrating the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 and encountering Heihachi, believed to be dead, Raven engages in combat, but is ordered back to headquarters before the fight concludes. As tensions arise between the Mishima Zaibatsu and G Corporation, Raven recognizes the potential for widespread conflict and decides to infiltrate the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6 to prevent further chaos. In Raven's ending, he intervenes as Dragunov and his men attempt to carry Azazel's body out of the tomb, riding a jet Harrier plane. Raven arrives and swiftly incapacitates Dragunov's forces, showcasing his combat prowess and agility. He retrieves the orb from Azazel's chest and narrowly escapes Dragunov's gunfire by jumping back onto the Harrier plane, leaving Dragunov empty-handed and defeated. This highlights Raven's resourcefulness and skill as a covert operative, as well as his commitment to preventing large-scale conflict. It also emphasizes the rivalry and tension between Raven and Dragunov, two skilled operatives with opposing objectives.
Be careful with it!
Slowly. Okay, straight ahead.
Red, Pyo, To, Sha, Kai, Jin, Left, Zai, Zen.
Mokujin, a sentient wooden training dummy crafted from a 2,000-year-old oak tree, awakens to comfort an impending evil, driven by a sense of duty to save the world. In his ending, Mokujin's journey is depicted in a whimsical storybook-like fashion as he traverses mountains, oceans, and deserts, even driving a car along the way. The tone initially seems lighthearted, but upon confronting Azazel, referred to as the Dark Lord, Mokujin emerges victorious. However, the ending takes a twisted turn as Mokujin is shown sitting on the throne, surrounded by other Mokujin saluting him. This is reminiscent of Jin Kazama's Tekken 5 ending. This parody adds a layer of humor to the conclusion, juxtaposing the serious nature of Mokujin's mission with a comedic twist.
Mokujin set out to defeat the Dark Lord, who had awakened from a long slumber. He crossed mountains, oceans, and deserts. Finally, he made his way to the castle of the Dark Lord. After a fierce battle, Mokujin defeated the Dark Lord and took his place on the Dark Lord's throne. The end.
Roger Jr. and his mother embarked on a journey to find Roger during the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5, eventually reuniting with him. However, Roger seemed indifferent to the presence, leading to his mother's decision to divorce him. Following the divorce, life became challenging for Roger Jr. and his mother. With financial security in mind, they opted to participate in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6. In Roger Jr.'s ending, Roger is depicted bonding with his son, teaching him boxing moves until they are inadvertently interrupted by Roger's wife. She confronts Roger with evidence of his infidelity, resulting in her delivering a powerful uppercut that sends him flying through the roof. The ending concluded Roger Jr. looking on in confusion, accompanied by a canned laughter throughout. This interjects humor into the narrative, showcasing the family dynamics of the Roger clan in a comedic light. Now for Wang Jinrei, who was driven by his close friend Jinpachi Mishima's warnings about the Mishima family's cursed blood, participated in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. Defeated by Jin Kazama, who aimed to eradicate the curse, Wang struggled with his own morals. Jin's subsequent actions, including Jinpachi's death, stirred regret in Wang for not taking a more decisive stand. With a renewed purpose, Wang entered the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6. In Wang's ending, after defeating Azazel, he senses the entity's lingering presence. Swiftly reacting, Wang delivers a powerful elbow strike, causing Azazel to dissipate into an orb surrounded by magenta glowing scarabs. The victory comes at a long cost as Wang feels the toll of the battle, expressing farewell to his friend Jinpachi before collapsing. This reflects Wang's resolve to confront the curse and protect his friends, even if it means sacrificing himself in the process.
Jinpachi，终于能够到你那里去了。
Unlike the other Tekken games, the main narrative in Tekken 6 is explored through scenario campaign. It was available only on the home console version, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360 versions of Tekken 6. Like Tekken Force and Devil Within minigames before it, it featured beat-em-up style gameplay. Unlike the previous modes, however, scenario campaign was used to tell the canonical story of Tekken 6 and featured cinematic cutscenes throughout. The protagonist of the story is Lars Alexanderson and his friend Alyssa Bashanovich. Lars' playthrough is the canonical story mode of the game, though the mode can be played with every character and each has unique conversations at every stage. The story mode is shown through dialogues that occur between characters, usually one at the start of the stage and one just before the boss fight. Alyssa's journal entries will summarize what happens at the stage and through extended CGI cutscenes. Scenario campaign is prefaced by the Mishima story, a 9.5-minute recap of the Tekken story so far, delivered as a motion comic. The recap fades into the first cinematic, introducing scenario campaign. Following his triumph in the previous tournament, Jin Kazama has seized control of the Mishima Zaibatsu and is now displaying signs of tyrannical ambition, utilizing the organization's vast resources. He severs ties with nations, declares independence, and openly initiates warfare against all countries. These actions plunge the world into chaos, triggering large-scale conflicts globally, including those space colonies orbiting the planet. Kazuya Mishima, Jin's father and now the head of the G Corporation, perceives Jin's interference as hindrance of his own global domination plans. Having seized control of G Corporation after thwarting the previous attempt on his life by former leaders, Kazuya emerges as the sole opposing force to Jin's rule. He places a bounty on Jin's head, inviting anyone capable of capturing him to claim the reward. In response, Jin announces the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6, intending to confront Kazuya and dismantle G Corporation's influence. Meanwhile, among the ranks of the Tekken Force, a soldier named Lars Alexanderson has begun a rebellion.
当主となったジンは世界に対し独立と宣戦を布告した。ジンは言う。圧倒的な力で全てを終わりにすると。三島財閥の全世界掌握は時間の問題と思われていた頃、G社が三島財閥の前に立ちはだかる。その頃から俺はこの戦いに疑問を抱くようになっていた。俺たちのこの戦いは本当に正しいのだろうか。俺は志を同じくする者たちと共に鉄拳衆全兵力の半数を引き連れ、三島財閥からの反乱を決意する。そんな中、G社はジンに莫大な懸賞金をかけると発表。G社の発表に呼応するように、三島財閥は大会の開催を宣言した。そして俺たちは新たな戦いの地へと赴く。全てはあの日から始まった。
Lars, leading a faction of Tekken Force, stages a coup against the Mishima Zaibatsu to establish the rebel army, aiming to halt the Zaibatsu's ongoing wars. During the raid on the Mishima Zaibatsu laboratory, Lars encounters an android resembling a young woman named Alyssa Bashanovich. Their meeting is disrupted by a battalion of G Corporation Jack robots, leading into a deadly explosion that leaves Lars with amnesia and Alyssa the sole survivor. Together, Lars and Alyssa embark on a journey to uncover their origins. Meanwhile, Jin, along with his top allies Nina Williams and Eddie Gordo, becomes aware of Lars' actions and initiates a manhunt to capture him.
What a mess.
彼らは G 社の吸収を受けて双方ともに全滅した模様ですが、死亡者ラース含む反乱部隊の遺体が現在も発見できていません。また内部で発生した爆発で大半はこのありさまです。ただ気になることがありまして、当時警備をしていたのがその特務のようなのです。
Well, that's strange. The lab has its own security force. The Secret Service wouldn't be there.
ですが、回収した遺体は全て特務のものでした。
The Secret Service is your unit. Care to explain? Anything else?
当日、ここのサーバーに本社から大量のデータが送信されています。情報局に確認を取りましたが、ログなども含め発信源は現在も特定できていません。
I don't like the sound of that. Keep investigating.
So what now? They're another Tekken Force we're talking about. We can't afford to have them running loose.
対処はする。だが、今ではない。
They're not kidding around. Are you gonna wait until it's too late? We've already lost 2 key positions.
落とされたということは、 その程度でしかなかったということだ。
What?
ヘリをこちらに回してくれ。
Going somewhere?
例の場所だ。お前の死を救いたいという思いに俺は応えた。
I know. I'll hold up my end of the deal.
期待しよう。
During his quest, Lars encounters Lieutenant Togu. Although Lars struggles to recall their past connection, Togu reminds Lars of his previous intent to meet Heihachi Mishima and offers him means to reconnect with him when he feels ready to resume leadership of his forces.
君は
怪我はないようだな。
俺は君とかなり親しかったみたいだな。なんとなくだがそう感じる。
ラース、お前本当に記憶を。あの娘は
この先にある研究所で出会った。名前はアリサというらしい。ところで君たちは？
俺は東郷。お前率いる反乱部隊の副官を務めさせてもらっている。
反乱部隊？俺が率いているだって。
そうだ。
待ってくれ、冗談だよな。
戸惑うのも無理はない。だが事実だ。あの日お前は三島財閥の重要拠点であるあの研究所を吸収した。だがそこで予期せぬことが起こった。G社の介入だ。あの惨状を見た時にはどうなることかと思ったが、とにかく無事で何よりだった。
じゃあ俺だけが生き残ったのか？
ああ。とにかく一度タイに戻ろう。今後のこともある。
間違いないのか？本当に俺は君たちの？
ああ、事実だ。
だとしても俺は。
今部隊は九州チームが全滅したとの報告で混乱している。できれば一刻も早く戻ってもらいたいところなんだが。
すまない。
分かった。当面は俺の方で何とかしよう。ただしお前が戻るまでだ。すでにお前の生存が三島財閥と G 社に伝わっている。単独で行動しているお前に連中がどんな手を使ってくるかわからん。くれぐれも注意しておいてくれ。まあお前のことだ。そう簡単にやられるとは思えないがな。何かあった時はこれで連絡してくれ。専用の暗号回線を用意した。とりあえずは傍受されることもないだろう。
ありがとう。
それと忘れ物だ。
これは
お前のだ。あの研究所に落ちていた。
悪いがこれは受け取れない。今の俺には。
そう言うだろうと思っていた。お前が戻るまでこれは預かっておこう。
頼む。
これからどうするかはお前次第だが、まずは三島平八に会ってみてくれ。以前お前は奴に会う必要があると言っていた。何がきっかけで記憶が戻るかわからんからな。
俺とその三島平八とはどんな関係が？
さあな。お前は自分のことは決して語ろうとはしなかったよ。誰に対してもな。じゃあ俺たちは撤収する。こうしているだけでも目立って仕方ないからな。
あの方たちは？
どうやら味方らしい。
In a remote desert temple, Jin and Nina encounter a woman named Zafina. She informs Jin that the mystical forces guarding the temple were disrupted 6 months prior. Jin astounds her by implying that an entity tied to the temple has begun to awaken. When Zafina inquires how he knows this, Jin remains silent. Before departing, Jin cryptically states that the irreversible events are underway, and he alone possesses the ability to confront what lies ahead.
Who are you?
I have no business with you. Jin Kazama, you have been warned. Stop your warring before it is too late.
付き合っている暇はない。
6 months have passed since the magic that binds this place was broken. And now events are unfolding just as the legend foretold. This world is headed for destruction.
その伝承が間違っていたとしたらどうする？
What are you saying?
古の民の末裔であるお前が何も感じないのか？俺は遺跡が出現した直後から調査を続けてきた。その兆候は感じていたが、今日それは確信に変わった。奴の帯同はすでに始まっている。
You speak as if you actually know what these ruins hold.
太古の時代、調整者と呼ばれた存在。それを祀った神殿がここだ。名はアザゼル。
How do you know that? Answer me. How is it you know that?
知ってどうする？それで何かが変わるのか？
No, but
全ては動き出した。もう誰も止めることはできない。俺以外はな。
We need to go. The G Corporation is up to something.
わかった。俺は全てを終わらせる。
Lars and Alyssa track down Heihachi Mishima's whereabouts and confront him at his heavily guarded residence. After a fierce battle with the Secret Service, Lars faces off against Heihachi himself. In the heart of the fight, Lars regains his lost memories, realizing that he is Heihachi's illegitimate son, holding Heihachi at gunpoint. They engage in a tense exchange before Lars receives an urgent call from Toku about a critical operation. Reluctantly, Lars decides to depart, leaving the confrontation unresolved.
大丈夫ですか？
少しめまいがしただけだ。
わしを圧倒するほどの力と技。もしやお前は
今の戦いで全て思い出すことができた。この血を引く以上、お前のように衰えていくことは避けられないということか。
何？
お前が北欧で指揮した作戦を覚えているか？
まさかお前は。
察しがいいな。
もしやとは思っておった
のだが、今はそんな話はどうでもいい。俺はお前を倒すためにここに来たんだからな。
わざわざ訪ねてきたからにはわしと手を組むつもりだと思っておった。
勘違いするな。それに三島平八ともあろう者が他人を当てにするとはな。
わしが貴様ごときよ。ふん、うぬぼれるな。
お前にはもう用はないと言いたいところだが、その前に南米で手に入れた碑文のありかを教えてもらおうか。
なぜそれを？あれの存在はわしと数名の者しか知らぬはず。
お前をよく知る人物から教えてもらった
のさ。ワンのじじいめ、余計なことを。
どこにある？
あれはある場所に厳重に保管されておる。手出しはできんぞ。
答える気はないか。ならばもう用はない。
いけません。
そこをどけ。
お父様に銃を向けるなんていけないことです。
そやつの方がよほど物分かりがいいようじゃ。少しは見習ったらどうや。
減らず口を。
ダメです。
そんなものでこのわしを倒せると思うな。
当主に返り咲くことなんて諦めてサーカスに転身したらどうだ？
ほざけ小僧。
どうした？
例の碑文の件分かったぞ。三島財閥の本社地下施設に保管されているらしい。
そうか。また何か分かったら連絡してくれ。
了解だ。
聞くまでもなかったらしい。だが忘れるな。お前は必ずこの俺が倒す。
よろしいのですか？
放っておけ。そのうちまとめて手に入れてくれる
わ。Following his journey, Lars encounters Lee Shallan, who possesses valuable information about both the Mishima Zaibatsu and G Corporation. Although Lee proposes a partnership with Lars, Lars opts to continue his mission independently. However, before parting ways, Lee receives a distressing call from Julia Chang, who has been captured by G Corporation while spying for him. Urged by Lee, Lars and Alyssa embark on a mission to rescue Julia Chang, successfully completing the task.
エクセレントな戦いだった。さすがは鉄拳衆でも最強と呼ばれる部隊を任されただけのことはある。ところで、これは憶測に過ぎないが、君は三島家と何か関係があるのではないかな。事情ありか。まあいい。噂の反逆者殿が私に言おうとは。
あなたは独自に三島と G 社の情報を集めていると聞いている。
そういうことか。確かに私の友人は多い。三島側にも G 社側にもな。どういった情報が必要かは分からんが、いいだろう。できる限り協力しよ
う。ありがとう。
しかし、あれだけの兵をまとめ反旗を翻したからには相当の覚悟だと思うが、本気で奴らとやり合うつもりなのか。
無論だ。今奴をジンを止めなければ取り返しのつかないことになる。
どうだろう。私と手を組むつもりはないか。
申し出はありがたいが、あなたを巻き込むわけにはいかない。
私は構わんのだがね。彼らとことを構えるなど、むしろ望むところなんだが。
すまない。
いいさ。気が変わったらいつでも連絡してくれたまえ。私はいつでも君たちを歓迎するよ。失礼。私だ。直接連絡してくるなんて珍しいな。何？すぐにそこを離れろ。おい！
どうした？
友人がトラブルに巻き込まれたようだ。彼女は G 社の研究施設で働いているんだが、あちらの情報を定期的に流してくれていたのも彼女なんだ。
俺たちも G 社には用がある。彼女のところへは俺たちが。
エクセレン。
行くぞ、アリサ。
はい。
彼女に関する資料だ。何かの役に立つかもしれない。
彼女は必ず。
Coordinating with Tobu, Lars plans to reclaim his leadership and role of the rebel army. They rendezvous with the outskirts of a significant Mishima Zaibatsu stronghold to begin their infiltration mission. During their operation, Lars and Alyssa encounter and defeat Eddie Gordo. Their next target is G Corporation's main headquarters, Millennia Tower. At the building's entrance, they face opposition from Anna Williams and a unit of G Corporation troops. Despite Tobu's injuries, he and his soldiers arrive to provide assistance. With the rebel army engaging the enemy forces, Lars and Alyssa engage and subdue Anna Williams. However, their attempt to capture Kazuya fails as he escapes. As they leave the tower, they discover casualties among Lars' rebel army, with Tobu succumbing to his wounds. Lars mourns the loss deeply. Unbeknownst to them, their actions are being monitored by Raven from the shadows.
Togo! よう、遅かったな。くそ。 ス喋るな必ず奴らを倒せほんと参ったな
Lars and Lissa take control of a Zaibatsu subway train to reach the Mishima Zaibatsu Central Tower. Along the way, they face an ambush by Nina and a squadron of Tekkenford. Despite the odds, Lars manages to defeat the soldiers and forces Nina off the train. Though Nina survives the fall, she is once again bested by Lars. When he reappears, finally arriving at the tower, they encounter the robotic weapon Nancy MI-847J. Unexpectedly, Raven arrives and holds off the Nancy machine, urging Lars and Lissa to confront Jin without introducing himself.
I'll handle this.
一人でどうにかなる相手じゃないぞ
You have a greater purpose. Go!
Nina attempts to intervene once more, but Lars and Lissa manage to overcome her. As Jin arrives, a fierce battle ensues between him and Lars, resulting in neither emerging as a clear victor. Nina approaches Jin and exchanges words with him. Before departing, Jin directs Alyssa to deactivate safe mode and reboot. Alyssa's demeanor suddenly shifts, becoming hostile towards Lars and displaying no recollection of their shared experiences. Jin reveals that Alyssa was designed to serve him, and he's been utilizing her to surveil Lars all along. Although advantageous, Jin admits he had initially planned to exploit Alyssa in this manner, having underestimated Lars losing his memory. Jin orders Alyssa to eliminate Lars before departing with Nina.
アリサ、限定モード解除。システムを再起動しろ。
アリサ、どうした？
正門及び生体データを照合。風間陣からの指示を確認。システム再起動します。10、9、8、7、6、5、4、3、
そこをどけ。
1。
どうしたんだアリサ？俺がわからないのか？
待機モードです。指示願います。待機モードです。指示願います。
彼女に何をした？
まだわからないのか。そいつは俺のために作られた。
なんだと？
そうとも知らず、お前は今までそいつを連れ回していたわけだ。おかげでお前たちの動きを完全に把握することができた。
最初から仕組まれていたのか？
そうでもない。G 社の介入とお前の記憶喪失、複数の要因によるものだ。結果としてはうまくいったが。
そこをどけ。
待機モードです。指示願います。
そいつを排除しろアリサ。ラース、お前がアリサを倒すことができたなら、その時は俺が相手にな。
やるしかないのか。
風間陣からの指示を確認。排除します。
In a tense confrontation, Lars is compelled to battle Alyssa, ultimately emerging victorious. Following her defeat, Alyssa retreats from the tower. Raven resurfaces, informing Lars of Jin's next destination. Recognizing the urgency, Lars consents to accompany Raven on this crucial mission.
You alone?
Ah, where's the girl? This is getting us nowhere. Jin must have headed to the desert. I'll go after him. What about you?
決着は まだついちゃいない。
Then get moving. What's the holdup?
なんでもない。行こう。
Lars and Raven discover an ancient temple nestled in the desert, rumored to house the formidable Azazel, also known as the Rectifier. Within the temple's depths, they encounter Kazuya once more. As their battle reaches its climax, Kazuya started to realize Lars' true identity as his half-brother. With this revelation, Kazuya abruptly departs from the temple's confines, leaving Lars and Raven to contemplate their next move.
Masaka と思ったが、貴様、三島の血を
望んだわけじゃないが、今あいつに感謝している。この血を与えてくれたことにな。
今になって兄弟が現れるなど冗談にもならんわ。
逃げ場はない。諦めろ。
今日のところは引く。だが忘れるな。悪なき闘争と反逆。それこそが三島の決闘。血の宿命だ。逃れることはできん。
You let him get away.
奴とは必ず決着をつける。その前に。
Yeah, let's see what's behind door number 1. Be careful.
そっちもな。行くぞ。
Venturing deeper into the temple's core, Lars and Raven finally confront Azazel. In a fierce battle, Lars engages the demon, seemingly managing to weaken it significantly. Azazel ominously proclaims that humanity must atone for its sins before suddenly erupting in a blinding burst of light, suggesting a self-destructive end to its existence.
終わりだ。滅ぶことが俺たちの運命だと？ふざけるな！お前みたいな化け物に未来を決められてたまるか！だとしても選ぶのは俺たちだ。お前じゃない！
It's over.
まだだ。
You mean Jin Kazama?
As Lars and Raven escape the crumbling temple, they encounter Jin once more. Lars hesitates in his attack when Alyssa intervenes to protect Jin. Forced to confront Alyssa, Lars and Raven engage in a heated battle against her. Upon her defeat, Alyssa reverts to her original self, expressing gratitude for being treated like a real person by Lars before shutting down. Jin's callous remarks about Alyssa infuriate Lars, leading to another intense battle between Lars and Jin.
負けちゃいました。あなたは本当に強い。あなたとだけは戦いたくありませんでした。でも私は風間陣を守るために作られた存在。背くことはできなかったのです。短い間でしたが、あなたとの旅は本当に楽しかった。私を人として接してくれた。嬉しかった。
やはりその程度か。
なんだと。
所詮ガラクタでしかなかったということだ。面白いな。情でも映ったか。
お前を守るために彼女は犠牲になった。その事実に変わりはない。
当然だ。あれはそのために作られた。結果はこのざまだ。
お前は俺が倒す。
Following his victory, Lars confronts Jin, who reveals his true motivations. Jin discloses that Azazel, awakened by the conflict between him and his father, has been communicating with him telepathically. Azazel conveyed that it would only materialize if the world was filled with negative energy. Jin implies that the world was beyond redemption, even before the wars begun. Believing that destroying Azazel in an act of mutually assured destruction will ultimately save the world, Lars informs Jin that Azazel has already been destroyed. However, Azazel resurfaces in a golden form moments later, warning Jin that he will be destroyed if he attacks. Jin, undentered, taps into his devil gene and strikes Azazel through the chest. They both plummet into the depths of the temple as a shaft of light bursts from where they fell. After the night fades, Nina arrives aware of Jin's plans and departs without judgment on his actions.
深淵を除くならば 深淵もまた等しくお前を見返す。その通りだな。
何の話だ？
きっかけはあの女だった。繰り返し頭に響く声の正体を知ったのは
ザフィーナか？
ああ。だが聞かされた話に俺は違和感を覚えた。アザゼルはすでに精神体として復活を遂げていたからだ。
奴の復活は必然だったとでも言うのか？
俺とカズヤ、二人の存在が鍵だった。
でも奴は
万物が発する負のエネルギーで我は実体化を果たすとアザゼルの思念は語っていた。その時こそが唯一のチャンスだ。
だからこの戦争を起こしたというのか？奴を実体化させるために。
そうだ。俺はやらねばならなかった。デビルの力を持つ者として。
だからといってお前が起こしたことが正当化されるわけじゃない。
では聞こう。世界の国家、民族、宗教、それらが持つ論理で何を成し遂げてきた？
それは。
これまでも人は武力という名の恐怖に怯え、暴力によって支配されてきた。そんな歪んだ世界を誰が救える？俺はアザゼルとの戦いの果てに互いに消滅することを望んだ。その時こそ俺はこの呪われた血の呪縛から解放され、結果世界は救われる。だが一度だけだ。次はない。
しかし奴は俺が倒した。
お前は何も分かっていない。そうだ。俺はこの時を待っていた。言ったはずだ。倒すことができるのはデビルの力を持つ者だけだと。そう。俺以外にはな。俺は全てを終わらせる。
何をする気だ？
あなたは知っていたのか?
Yes. But what's done is done. Jin put everything he had into this one moment. It's not for me to judge if he was right or wrong. Maybe you're such a saint, you think you can. But somehow, I doubt it.
As they traverse the desert, Lars and Raven engage in a deep conversation, dissecting the events that transpire at the temple. Raven, ever the strategist, questions the true intentions behind Jin's seemingly drastic actions. Lars, still processing the magnitude of their encounter, offers his own insights, pondering Jin's motivations and the ramifications of his decisions.
Thanks to you, the higher-ups are finally starting to get the picture. They're going to send a unit to investigate. Once I get back to civilization, I'll help them get started. This was way over our heads to begin with. I figure I'll just entertain them for a while and they'll be on their way. You have to wonder, did Jin Kazama really want it to end like that?
Arriving at Violet Systems, they are greeted by Lee, who reassures them that Alyssa will receive the care she needs. Lee's expertise and determination to assist bring a glimmer of hope to their weary hearts. While Alyssa undergoes repairs, Lars and Raven take a moment to reflect on their journey thus far, contemplating the uncertainties that lie ahead.
Excellent. 君には大きな借りがあるからな。
そうだったな。それで彼女は？
少し時間をもらうことになるな。とにかくシステムが複雑すぎる。さすがはボスコノビッチ博士。実にエクセレントだ。
よろしく頼む。
任せておいてくれ。
In a pointed exchange, Raven expresses his doubts about whether Jin's intentions were as straightforward as they seem. Lars, grappling with conflicting emotions, acknowledges the complexity of Jin's character and the intricate web of fate that binds them together. Amidst their musings, Lars receives an urgent call, prompting him to abruptly end the conversation. With this sense of purpose renewed, Lars assures Raven that they will reconvene soon. As he strides off to answer the call, Lars prepares himself for the next chapter of their adventure, knowing that challenges and revelations await him on the horizon.
How'd it go?
なんとかなりそうだ。
Good.
これは
Togo gave it to me. Said to make sure I returned it to you.
あんたには世話になったな。
Don't thank me just yet. Tomorrow, we might be enemies.
あいつが忍者だということを忘れていたな。俺だ。了解。すぐに向かう。
In a post-credit scene, Raven and his team from the UN stumble upon Jin's partially buried body in the vast desert expanse. Despite Azazel's defeat, the telltale mark of the Devil Gene remains etched in Jin's left arm, suggesting that the sinister legacy of the gene still courses through his veins, leaving his fate uncertain.
Status.
We only just arrived here, sir. Nobody's gone near it.
Take me there. Who found him?
A spy drone circling the vicinity. There are no footprints in the area. I think it's safe to say we're the first ones here, sir.
The specimen and pack things up. On the double.
Yes, sir.
Why can't I be wrong just once?
Now that I covered the scenario campaign, let's cover Alyssa, Lars, and Azazel. Starting with Lars Alexanderson, who stands as the epitome of the reluctant hero and is thrust into extraordinary circumstances that test his moral character. At his core, he possesses unwavering integrity, which leads him to defect from the Mishima Zaibatsu and form the rebel army. Lars' quest for truth mirrors classic literary journeys of self-discovery, especially when he discovers he is Heihachi Mishima's illegitimate son, sparking profound questions of identity and family conflicts. His relationship with the android Alyssa delves into deep philosophical debates about consciousness and what it means to be alive, reminiscent of discussions about artificial intelligence in iRobot. As a leader, Lars follows the servant leader ethos, earning loyalty by sharing in his subordinate struggles. He grapples with the concept of determinism versus free will, defying Kazuya's warnings about their family's supposed fate and aligning with critical thinking views of human agency. Ultimately, Lars' resilience, sacrifice, and pursuit of justice elevate him to the ranks of literature's iconic heroes, prompting profound contemplation about morality and the essence of humanity. Moving on, Alyssa Bashanovich's character arc delves deeply into the complexities of artificial intelligence and its relationship to humanity, prompting philosophical reflections on consciousness, identity, and the essence of true aliveness. Initially designed as an android to serve Jin Kazama, Alyssa undergoes a profound transformation through her evolving connection with Lars. Their bond challenges conventional notions of AI's emotional depth, echoing ethical debates, like I said, from iRobot. Regarding the moral implications of advanced robotics, Alyssa's journey reflects concepts of mind-body dualism, blurring the lines between artificial and human experiences, as she defies Jin's orders and embraces self-determination, embodying the existential idea of being condemned to be free. Furthermore, Alyssa's evolution from a blank slate to self-aware entity follows the archetype of the hero's journey, exploring themes of identity and individualism inherent to the human condition. Her quest symbolizes the universal human spirit, pursuit of meaning and purpose beyond physical constraints, transcending the boundaries of corporal existence. Ultimately, Alyssa challenges us to reconsider our understanding of consciousness, highlighting her capacity for emotion and self-discovery as a poignant reminder that true aliveness extends beyond mere biology to encompass the shared experience of humans and sentient beings alike. Lastly, Azazel, the demonic entity that serves as the central antagonist in Tekken 6, is a multifaceted character that draws inspiration from various mythological and religious traditions, imbuing it with rich symbolic significance that transcends its monstrous exterior. At its core, Azazel embodies the primal forces of chaos, destruction, and the darker aspects of human nature. Its ancient origin as the Rectifier and the creator of the Devil Gene established it as an entity whose influence has shaped the course of humanity for millennia. This resonates with the concept of the demiurge in Gnostic cosmology, a flawed malicious creator deity responsible for the existence of the physical world and inherent suffering within it. Azazel's ability to bestow a fraction of his power upon humans, transforming them into monstrous devils acting as his servants, evokes a struggle between good and evil that permeates religious and mythological narratives across cultures. This dynamic echoes the biblical notion of demonic possession and the age-old conflict between divine forces and the temptations of sin and corruption. The prophecies surrounding Azazel's awakening and the two dark stars that would trigger its resurgence has led a cosmic inevitability to the narrative, mirroring the undertones found in Greek tragedies and concept of the eternal return. The clash between Jin Kazama and Kazuya Mishima, both carries the Devil Gene, becomes a catalyst for Azazel's resurgence, symbolizing the cyclical nature of conflict and the perpetual struggle between order and chaos. Azazel's physical appearance and symbolism draw heavily on the ancient Egyptian mythology, with his beetle-like projectiles and ornate design evoking the scared scarabs associated with the god Khepri. This fusion of cultural elements adds a layer of depth and richness to Azazel's character, reflecting on the universality of mythological archetypes and the shared human fascination within the forces of creation and destruction. The Hebrew origins of Azazel's nature further enhance its symbolic significance, derived from the term for hell, or ruggedness of God. It evokes the notion of divine punishment, atonement, and the banishment of sin, echoing the rituals of Yom Kippur and the concept of the scapegoat. This association with sacrifice and purification adds layers of complexity to Azazel's role, positioning it as both a harbinger of destruction and a potential catalyst for redemption. Ultimately, Azazel's character serves as a potent metaphor of the duality of human nature, embodying the eternal struggle between our higher aspirations and our darker impulses. Its resurgence and the subsequent conflict it ignites can be interpreted as a reflection of humanity's collective sins and the consequences of unchecked ambition and violence. In this light, Azazel becomes a mirror through which we confront our own capacity for both creation and destruction, inviting us to ponder the delicate balance that must be maintained to avert self-annihilation. The creators of Tekken 6 aim to weave a complex narrative that explores various themes and tones through the diverse cast of characters. While the core gameplay revolves around the intense battles and martial arts spectacle, the character endings and storylines delve into deeper, thought-provoking aspects of the Tekken universe. One of the central themes is the impact of the war instigated by Jin Kazama and the Mishima Zaibatsu. Jin's heel turn and his decision to wage war on the world have left society in a state of chaos and disarray. The descriptions of global conflict, civil disturbances, and the widespread destruction caused by the Mishima Zaibatsu's actions paint a grim picture of the consequences of Jin's pursuit of power. The characters' narratives reflect on the toll this war has taken on their personal lives and the world around them. Miguel's quest for vengeance against Jin stems from a loss of his sister and an aerial attack orchestrated by the Mishima Zaibatsu, highlighting the human cost of Jin's actions. Julia Chang's desire to prevent a clash between Jin and Kazuya is driven by an ominous prediction that such a confrontation will unleash a great evil, further underscoring the high stakes of the conflict. The creators also explore complexities of human nature through a diverse cast of characters like Lei Wulong and Sergei Dragunov, represent the forces of law and order, dedicating to unravel the truth and restoring peace amidst chaos. On the other hand, characters like Brian Fury and Kazuya Mishima embody the darker aspects of human nature, driven by a thirst for destruction and insatiable hunger for power. The tone of the game oscillates between intense and somber moments, reflecting on the gravity of the conflict and lighthearted comedic moments that provide respite from the drama. Characters like Ganryu, Roger Jr., and Mokujin inject humor and parody into the narrative, offering a counterbalance to the darker themes explored in the game. Moreover, the creators delve into themes of redemption, forgiveness, and the enduring bonds of friendship and family. Christy and Eddie's shared ending, where Christy confronts her conflicted feelings towards Eddie's actions, showcases the complexities of human relationships and the potential for redemption. Baek Do-san's ultimate sacrifice to protect his student, Warang, exemplifies the depth of their bond and the lengths one is going to protect those they care about. Throughout the story, the characters grapple with the philosophical question of free will versus determination. Jin's belief that the world was beyond redemption and his actions were predetermined by Azazel's influence challenges the notion of human agency and self-determination. This debate echoes the philosophical accusations surrounding compatibilism and hard determination. The narrative's emphasis on the cyclical nature of conflict and the constant struggle between the Mishima clan and the forces of good and evil can be interpreted as a contemporary on the perpetual human condition. This resonates with the philosophical concept of the eternal return. Tekken 6 aimed to create a rich, multifaceted narrative that explores the consequences of unchecked ambition in the pursuit of power, while also delving into the complexities of human nature and relationships. The war instigated by Jin Kazama serves as a catalyst for exploring these themes, showcasing the far-reaching impact of his actions on the lives of the diverse cast of characters and the world they inhabit. Tekken 6 garnered generally favorable reviews from critics, reflecting its strong reception among gamers. With Metacritic scores of 79 for the PS3 version and 80 for the Xbox 360, the game received praise for its expanded mechanics, diverse modes, and extensive character roster. Despite comparisons with competitors like Soul Calibur 4 and Virtua Fighter 5, Tekken 6 held its ground with positive feedback. Critics mostly enjoyed the introduction of new characters like Lars and Alyssa, praising their unique movesets while acknowledging their somewhat eccentric designs. Bob, with his surprising obese appearance, added a fresh dimension to the roster, drawing parallels to Street Fighter 4's Rufus. However, the final boss Azazel faced heavy criticism for being overpowered, detracting from the overall experience. The scenario campaign mode received mixed reviews, with some critics citing bland environments and repetitive enemies. Despite these drawbacks, the mode offered a variety of gameplay experiences and substantial replay value, earning a praise for its length and depth. The initial negative reception towards the PS3 version, attributed to the excessive load times and the laggy online multiplayer, was eventually remedied through patches. The PSP version, on the other hand, received positive reviews for its improved loading times and faithful adaptation of the console experience. Commercially, Tekken 6 enjoyed significant success, becoming the fastest selling fighter upon its release in Japan. It achieved impressive sales figures worldwide, with over 3.5 million copies sold by 2011. The game's legacy was further solidified through nominations for several awards, including Spike's Fighting Game of the Year. Looking back, Tekken 6 played a crucial role in expanding the franchise's fan base, attracting new players with its engaging gameplay and diverse character roster. Its impact extended beyond the gaming realm, influencing spin-offs like Tekken Tag Tournament 2, which I may be covering later, paving the way for the announcement of Tekken 7, which is coming soon. The game's memorable CGI scenes even inspired the creation of the film Tekken Blood Vengeance. Evidently, Tekken 6 left an undeniable mark on the fighting game genre, with its legacy continuing to resonate among fans and developers alike. As the franchise evolves with each installment, Tekken 6 remains a testament to the enduring appeal of the series and its ability to captivate audiences worldwide.
Relax, it wasn't a complete loss.
They've escaped! But how?
Says they were looking for M-Cell.
I think it's time.
It's just mean more bloodshed.
I'd be glad to finish you. If the world can be destroyed by a mere father-son quarrel, so be it.
So that's the Devil Gene's true form. Alyssa! I can't move anymore!
Playing Tekken 6 was quite an intriguing experience to me. Having completed all the previous installments in the Tekken series, I came to this game with certain expectations while also being curious about how it would unfold. The introduction of the scenario campaign mode was a departure from the usual arcade story modes I was accustomed to, requiring completion across additional characters and delve deeper into their stories. This approach added new layers of engagement and made me feel more invested in the character journeys. The story, in my opinion, kind of was reminiscent of the nostalgia I felt while playing Tekken 2, where the hero of the first game would later become the villain of the next game. One of the standout features of Tekken 6 is its expansive roster of playable characters, each with their own unique fighting styles and movesets. The diversity of characters offer ample replay value, as I found myself eager to explore the intricacies of each fighter. The gameplay itself is where Tekken truly shines, with this seamless iteration of 3D mechanics. Sidestepping to evade attacks, executing combos, and utilizing different stances added depth to the combat system, requiring both practice and skills to master. The game stages are well designed, with the added novelty of certain environments breaking away during fights, creating dynamic arenas. Customization options allow for personalizing characters with various outfits and items, although unlocking these features can be time consuming. Despite some shortcomings in terms of gameplay modes, the combo system in Tekken 6 remains engaging, and the diverse roster of characters ensures there's always something new to discover. In conclusion, Tekken 6 may not have fulfilled all my expectations in terms of gameplay modes, but its robust combat mechanics and rich character roster make it a worthwhile experience for fans of fighting games alike. Whether you're drawn to the intricate lore of Tekken's universe, or simply enjoy mastering combos and duking it out with friends, Tekken 6 offers plenty of entertainment and replayability. Give it a shot. If you made it to the end, you're definitely a trooper. I know this video was being heavily requested, and I hope it was worth the wait, because a lot went into this video, so I hope you enjoyed it. Some quick announcements. I do intend on creating a Tekken 7 hybrid and possibly 8 in the future, just not at this exact moment. I had to take a break from Tekken because of the rigorous work that goes into making the video, while also being a college student. So I hope this video can hold you until Tekken 7's video. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, check out all the content on my page. I hope it resonates with you all. This is the Retro Phantom, signing out.